Hello, and welcome back to the Test Drive Podcast, brought to you by Sport Car USA. I'm your host, Lee Bodette. Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to our Test Drive Podcast number 54. I'm Lee Bodette, your host. Been a while since we've chatted. Hopefully, we're going to be on a bit more frequently with the upcoming spring and summer months ahead. My background, I've been a radio broadcaster for over 40 years. I host a series called Test Drive on the YouTube channel. I'm the frontman and host of Sport Car USA. Maybe you've heard of us. I hope you have. We have sold roughly $3 million worth of vehicles, modern muscle cars, all over the country during the last 3 years. I've been a car enthusiast my entire life. Well, it is the 28th day of February here in St. Albans, Vermont. If you've never been to Vermont, we welcome you. Come visit us. Tons of snow this year. It's been unbelievable. In St. Albans alone, we're maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes away from the Canadian border, if that. And we did not get a whole lot of snow until about a week ago. Then we were buried pretty much with 18 inches of snow. Surrounding us in other parts of the state, some have been absolutely hammered. Maybe you've heard of the Jay Peak Resort, Stowe Mountain, Killington, just tons of snow. Mount Mansfield is the highest mountain in the state, and they are fast approaching 100 inches of snow. First time that's happened in several years. So if you're looking to do some skiing, a little cross-country skiing maybe, or downhill, maybe some snowshoeing, this is the place to be. As far as cars go, sport cars, not so much this time of year. So we are very anxious for the spring months and the summer months to come here. It's going to be a little while. As I mentioned, it's March 1st. And one thing about living here in northern Vermont, we're, again, close to Canada, we're near New York, northern New York, is that Mother Nature tends to fool you quite often. For instance, a couple of days ago, we had some really warm weather. Now, warm weather this time of year is maybe 40 degrees, 45 degrees. Everybody's all excited. Something about your body temperature. If it was 40 degrees, 45 degrees in October, we would all be freezing and complaining. But when it's 40, 45 in February, everybody's happy. It's like, this is unbelievable. Maybe winter's over. No. I've been a lifelong Vermonter. I know Mother Nature has a way of fooling us, and Mother Nature does it almost every single year. We've got several, well, maybe not several, but we've got a good month, maybe a month, 5 weeks of winter weather to deal with. Hopefully we won't get dumped on again with 18 inches, but it has happened. Trust me, it has happened more than once during my lifetime. More than I'd like to talk about, actually. So what do you do if you are a car person, a car guy, a gal, when you are in an environment such as the environment that we are here, where we can't really drive our modern muscle cars? Now, I see online people are driving a lot of their modern muscle cars in the snow. And I mean, to me personally, it drives me nuts, but it's not my money. It's not my car. You can do whatever you want. When I see a Corvette or a Mustang or a Camaro going down the road in Minnesota or wherever central part of this country where the weather is just as bad as it is here, if you want to enjoy it that way, absolutely fine. But I'm totally different. I'm a car guy that just keeps his vehicles as pristine as possible and pretty much come out when the weather is good. Even if it's raining, I probably won't take my vehicle out. As a matter of fact, I know I won't take it out. So just one of those guys, right, that does it like that. What do you do when the weather is like this? I'll tell you what I do, a few things. I used to cover my cars with car covers. They're in my garage. I've got a 66 Mustang and a 2023 Corvette with a Z51 package on it. My Mustang is candy apple red, white top, and my Corvette is adrenaline yellow. It is a convertible. I used to cover them up, like I said. make sure they're all nice and pretty and clean, and get them all covered up with a professional car cover, one that's designed to fit the vehicle. I don't know. I guess I've gotten lazy over the last few years. I didn't clean the vehicles the way they should be cleaned, and I didn't cover them up this year. So part of what I do during the winter months is I go out and I look at them. I stare at them. I know it's crazy. Some of you don't get it. Why would you just sit there and look at your cars? You must have a problem. Yeah, my problem is I'm addicted to vehicles, modern muscle cars, and old ones too, obviously. So I've got a 66 Mustang. That's just something, it's not a whole lot to do, hanging out in the garage, puttering around, as they say, and kind of looking at your vehicle. And I can see all the areas where I should have cleaned and I did not. So hopefully I'm going to get better with that as the years progress. I hope so, because it does drive me a little crazy when I'm looking at the vehicles. It's kind of nice that they're uncovered. That way I don't have to, get the cover off of them and, I don't know, roll the cover up, that kind of thing. But when they are uncovered during the winter, you see, if you did not clean, which I did not do, you see a few flaws, a few maybe bug splatters that you should have taken off. I also, during the winter months, I read a lot of magazines, Car and Driver, Road and Track, Hemmings, which is based in Bennington, Vermont, so that's kind of dear to my heart. I love reading magazines such as that, Classic Autos, seeing what's for sale out there, and seeing how the auctions have been doing during the winter months, such as Barrett-Jackson, Mecum. I love it when those auctions are on. Had an opportunity, as you may know, some of you who've listened to this podcast, we went to Mecum 1 year ago. We were hoping we're going to go again. Please let us go again. But that didn't work out this year. And they just wrapped up their auction in January. I guess it was really, really successful. It did well over $4 million. Don't quote me on that, but it was very, very successful. Had some excellent vehicles. I must be way off on that $4 million, by the way, because I know there was a vehicle that sold for $4 million. So I'm way off. So don't even go there because I don't know the actual number. So I'm not going to try to fib on that. Great time. But if I can't be there, I sit there and I watch it on TV. Not every night. Most of these auctions are 4 to 5 nights a week. And it's just a real treat when you look outside and it's snowing and it's 2 below zero and you're seeing all of these wonderful, amazing vehicles. I'll take some inventory at my house. What does that mean? I go down to the basement, check on my waxes, my polishes, my detailers, microfiber cloths, so I have enough of those. And then I try to weed through them. It's kind of like Goodwill. What do I mean by that? You go in your closet, you look at your t-shirts, for instance, and ask yourself, how many of these t-shirts do I actually wear? When is the last time I wore that Mustang t-shirt? And if the answer is A, I don't remember, B, it's been several years, C, it's been at least 2 years, get rid of it. So that's what I do with my clothes. I go to Goodwill and here you go. And that's kind of what I do with my car supplies, because I, like any car guy, I guess, or gal, I'll buy the next best thing. What's the next best thing? Of course, ceramics is huge right now. My other Corvette, I had it ceramic coated. It was around $1,500. I don't know if it was worth it, but I had it done. And now they have all these different products that you can get just about anywhere. Your local parts store, Walmart, any of those big chain stores. What's the next best thing? I look at my inventory and I have so many items. Using that same analogy with my clothes, when's the last time you used that, Lee? Why do you need 12 touch-up paint tubes when you don't even own the cars anymore? And by the way, when you had the cars, did you ever use it? Because you didn't use it because you're kind of afraid to mess it up. So, these types of items you need to take to, there's a place here in Vermont called Chittenden Solid Waste District. and they have several locations, and about maybe once every 3, maybe every 6 months, they'll have a drop-off of paint and items like that. I have so many different types of waxes, polishes, detailers, kind of like I just mentioned, that I take inventory of. Microfiber cloths, of course, I'm not going to throw those away. And do you wash your microfiber cloths after they're done? I do, to a point. Anytime I'm using a microfiber on my 2 babies, the Mustang and the Corvette, I always use a new one. Always make sure I take that tag off that comes with it. Why they still have those on there, I don't know. It's kind of like a t-shirt. Why don't they get rid of those tags and just print something on there? If I do reuse the microfiber after washing it, I will use it for like my tires, my rims, something that I know, not that it doesn't matter, but what's it going to do to a tire, right? Rubber tire. Maybe when I'm cleaning the engine area, I'll use one that has been pre-used. And I look at them, and I want to make sure there's nothing on those. I always, shake them out and take a look. I can feel them. Excuse me. See if I feel any grit. And that's pretty much what I do with those. But I will throw out some when they get like really, really bad. Not even worth washing them. Again, taking inventory, getting rid of a bunch of stuff that I've bought through the years. What's the next best thing? I'll buy it, I'll use it, and then I might not use it again because there's another next best thing on the market. Right now, I think my go-to is, what's it called? Pro something. Pro. It's a ceramic. You spray it on, wipe it off, and then you buff. It's not going to last a whole long. It's called F11. Excuse me, F11. There you go. And they have the F11 Pro out now. That seems to work pretty well. The reason I like that is that you can use it on just about anything. Remember when you used to wax your vehicle and you had to be really careful not to get any onto the vinyl pieces or the rubber pieces to the door? Because if you did, good luck getting it off. It would be there forever. It'd be dull. This F11, and again, I'm not advocating. This is just what I'm using now or have used in the last year or so. You can put it on your seats. You can put it on rubber. You can put it on just about anything. It does a pretty decent job. Doesn't last forever. But again, I don't take my cars out a whole lot, so they aren't exposed to the elements, most notably the sun and the bird droppings, things like that. Well, I want to let you know that being part of Sport Car USA, we have finally got our calendars in the mail. A little late this year as it is the end of February. Sent out hundreds of them to people who have bought modern muscle cars from Sport Car USA and others that have just participated with the things that we've been doing and just enjoy Sport Car USA. If you would like a calendar, I will send you one personally. Just go to sportcarusa.com. That's sportcarusa.com. Give us your information, and we'll send you a calendar. Absolutely no charge. They're really, really nice. We've been doing this maybe 3-4 years now, and some great pictures of some of the modern muscle cars that we have. And we buy and sell modern muscle cars all the time, as I mentioned. And if you do have a modern muscle car that you're interested in, or maybe you want to sell one, again, sportcarusa.com. 2025 upcoming events. Most of them are local events, so they might not mean a whole lot to some of you that are listening outside of our region. There's the Maple Festival. Vermont, the #1 maple producer in the entire world. Yes. And they have the Maple Festival every year. I believe it's either the end of March, first part of April. They're just starting to tap the lines now, finish that up, and the syrup, the syrup should be running next week. They tell us what you need for a great maple syrup is the sap to run is cold nights and warm days. That's when it flows the best. So we're hoping for that. The maple sugars work really, really hard. It's a tough business, but it is the best in the country, and we wish all of them well. We'll be at that Maple Fest. There's going to be a new car show. It's at a business called Champlain Cable. That's near Costco in Colchester, Vermont. And we're really excited about that one. They have a really large area where everybody can display their vehicles. And it doesn't matter whether they're modern muscle or classic vehicles. Open to just about everyone. Our showcase is coming up in May, and we're looking forward to that as always. We have a great time, feed you, food, drinks, everything's absolutely free. And we even hand out calendars and other swag. A couple of other ones, cars and coffee. Those are really popular throughout the country, and they're very popular here in the northern part of Vermont, and Vermont, northern part of New York and the state of Vermont. I'll get it right. But cars and coffee, very, very excited to be part of their activities. It's very laid back, as you know, and just to go shoot the breeze with somebody about your car and their cars and their car experience. Swanton, Vermont, that's up even closer to the border of Canada. That's a huge event, about 250 plus cars there every single year on a beautiful green right in the center of the Swanton Village. Waterbury, Stowe, a little slash there. It used to be the Stowe Car Show, one of the largest in the Northeast. And they moved to Waterbury a couple of years ago. It's a really, really good show. That's sometime in August. And we wrap things up with the Lake George, New York show. That is an absolutely dynamite show. Hundreds and hundreds of cars, and people come from all over the country to see the Lake George Adirondack Car Show. Hopefully we'll see you there. So again, you need a calendar, Sport Car USA. I think we'll wrap it up now. We're all hoping that spring will be arriving soon, although we know that probably not. But I will say that daylight is longer now. We've gained about 2 hours in the last month or so. Little things like that, just little baby steps, get us all very excited here at Sport Car USA when it comes to getting our vehicles out. I want to thank you for listening to our podcast number 54. I'm Lee Bodette, your host. Be sure to check out our test drive series on YouTube. And remember, buying or selling a modern muscle car, go to sportcarusa.com. And we'll see you next time on our next test drive podcast. And remember, let's never forget the men and women serving this great country of ours. Goodbye, everybody.